Hello. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. This is G. We're going to talk about your June 2023. We got a lot to talk about, Cancer. There's going to be things that have to do with values and money and finances, jobs and daily routines and friends and social circles. Yeah, friends that can be very beneficial. So let's jump into your June 2023. So I got to kind of talk about the overall energies for the month of June that actually begin in May, and these energies are all things Taurus. It's about, job, money, security, finances, the earth, my creature comforts, my love, my money in the bank, how I receive, like, bring it to me, baby. Give me some good stuff, right? We have the North Node in Jupiter coming together in the sign of Taurus. Now, that happens in the first week of June, but the planet Jupiter stays in the sign of Taurus, stays there for 14 months. So the next 14 months of your life. So that takes us into 2024, right? Into 2024, deep beyond 6 months into 2024. So money, values, who I love, what I love. Think of group energy and friends and people that can be quite beneficial for you, because you have your Taurus energy in your 11th house. And the 11th house many times is known as the angelic realm. This is a placement where we might think that we have luck or friends who are very giving, like their finances and what they have, they are, they like to share. Let's put it like that, because Taurus energy, if they value you, if you're one of their friends, anybody who's got like Taurus energy, if they think you're a friend of theirs, they're going to hook you up. That's how Taurus energy works. It shows its appreciation and love to those that it values, and it does it by either giving them gifts or cash. And I'm trying to figure out my lighting because it's doing really weird things. Maybe if I back up, I don't know what the solution is. So maybe you've already experienced this. And if you have, you would likely get more of this for the next 14 months. Jupiter is considered a very beneficial, generous planet, a generous type of energy. It can kind of exaggerate things. So it might be very giving. It might see you and be like, oh my God, I really value this person's friendship, like a lot. And so Taurus energy tends to be very loyal. And it's like, okay, but that's my friend. I value that person. Now, because it's in that 11th house of group energy, this can have to do with, like if you're online. Do you do anything online? I often think of YouTube, and like when we're all in the chat and we're together and we're communicating as a group, right? In a community that we create, because it's digital communities as well, right? So this could be for some people who might be doing like online dating, Taurus in the 11th house. I'm looking for love in all the wrong places. It could be some of that, okay? Taste, touch, creature comforts, food. Taste, touch, food, what I can see, what I can smell, what I can hear even. And also Taurus rules the spoken word. So you might have some friends who might be talented, who might be uniquely gifted and talented and skilled, because that 11th house energy is people who there is just something super unique about them. You often hear me say it's that thing you do that makes you you. You stand out. You're different, right? These are people who, whatever that quirkiness thing is about them, you value that, because that's what Taurus in the 11th house is. Now, when Jupiter meets up with the North Node, right in the beginning of June, this can be like a stroke of good luck. This can be like a friend that comes along and is like, or all of a sudden you have a lot of friends, like more friends than usual, because Jupiter can add to things. So if it's not adding to your money, your values, your values would be friends. You would value friendships. And so you may get more friends. Again, this lasts all the way until deep into 2024 for you. So I'm liking this because this is all Venus stuff. Venus rules all of this. And Venus is all about people who, it's like, it's peace loving, possibly a little bit on the fantasy side, but there's like creativity and harmony. And these people can, they're all about like fine art. So these can be your artists. These can be people who are really good with food. This can be singing, people who've got good vocals, right? This is all that Taurus energy. It's very creative energy and it's magnetic. So you can draw people to you without like having to do too much. Like they're just drawn right to you. Okay. Now, the other thing that happens at the beginning of June is that we have a full moon. And what's really fascinating about this full moon and the connection to Jupiter is that it's a full moon in the sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius's ruler is Jupiter. So you see, we got a lot of Jupiter themes in June. Jupiter themes, big time. So with the Jupiter themes, we think of generosity, we think of goodness. We can also think of like exaggerations and judgments, unconscious judgments, the justices, right? The justices, especially in the United States. We think of Sagittarius and Jupiter as like, I'm traveling. I want to go on a trip. So if you're going to get to the plane and go, you're going to be going. Maybe you'll be in your car, but you'll be driving far. You're not just driving to the next town. You're going on a nice road trip, right? Some people might go from coast to coast when they're got Jupiter, right? The thing is, with a full moon in Jupiter, full moon in Sag, it's a release. It's an ending. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. And it isn't just about traveling. It's an ending and a release, but it could have to do with what else is Sagittarius energy? It's my beliefs about things, my beliefs about my future, my beliefs about traveling, my beliefs about freedom. Freedom is also Sagittarius energy. And that's why Sagittarius energy travels. It's its way of feeling free. It's independent. And it's like, but I'm not going just to be independent and just to be kind of like a rebel. It's not about the Aryan energy where it's like, I just got to be me and I just got to break free. No, Sag is on a damn journey. It's on a journey. That's what Sagittarius is. So there's something about the journey that might be over. There is something, which is good because then that means you've gained the wisdom, because that's what happens with the journeys, right? We go on them and it's a struggle and we think we're working towards this great goal and to hit this mountain and this peak and to be like, I'm on top of the world. I did it. I got the A++, or I achieved this and I got the award, whatever that is, or I made the money. But when we get all of that, we're like, there's almost something in it where it's over and it's like, that's it. That's it. Like I kind of thought it would feel different. And it's like, focus on the journey. And that's what I'm talking about. Maybe you're completing a journey. Maybe you're completing a learning experience, because Sagittarius energy is also like me going away to college or taking some sort of extended education. It is also spirituality and religion and the freedom of those things. The freedom of those things. So possibly you're releasing. Maybe you belonged to a certain religion and you're just like, not feeling that anymore. And so maybe you're releasing that. Maybe you're releasing a specific, whether it's a synagogue or a church, or, maybe there's something of not the religion, but like the structure and possibly a person, like a preacher, right? Or a reverend or something, where it's like, we're done. Like we finished our course, we finished our studies, because some of these people are our spiritual teachers, our guides, right? Our guru even, right? We finished the course, we're done. Or possibly somebody's graduating. Like we went to college and we're graduating now, because it's a completion. So we're completing that journey. We're completing that travel. We're completing even a belief about something. And I will add that Sagittarius energy can be like our unconscious judgments, right? Think about the pandemic and how much, like, we all, I think, I'm pretty sure we all kind of did that to some degree. Like, I can't believe they think that. I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they won't do this, right? Whole lot of that going on. And not that, you know, like, everybody has really good arguments. Everybody had their set of arguments as to why they believed in what they believed in. And so people were just like, okay, get away from me because I'm not like that. So we make a judgment and then we make a choice and we set separate ways. We're done. And so there could be a release about that. Now, let me be more specific for you. Because you're a Cancer energy, this would have been in your 6th house. So this is your daily routines. So this could be a job, but it's a project. It's something you do routinely almost every day. It could include pets. So when I talk about beliefs and we're talking about daily routines, it can also include your health routines. Was there something you were doing? Did you travel daily in your health routines? Like, were you driving every day? But like longer than you would desire to, right? Because let's remember the old ancient stuff when we think about Sagittarius. It was horseback, right? Yeah. It wasn't like we're just walking down at the end of the farm. No, we have to go across the other side of town or we have to get to town. And so what did you use? You would get on the horse. If you had a family, you were hitching the horse to the wagon so that the family could get to the town, right? That was Sagittarius energy. And so there's something about that that's being released. Something about, I don't want to do that anymore. That's just not fitting into my routine, right? And it's just, we're done. So that is all at the first part of the month. That's June 3rd. A release and an ending. And those degrees are 13, 17. So for those of you who pay attention to the degrees in your chart, if you need help, and me trying to decipher further what it could mean for you, just comment in the comments below and I'll help you out in any way I can. If you don't have your own chart, what are you waiting for? Your chart is your life. It is your life. And if you know nothing, that's okay. That's what this channel is for. People who don't know jack. I can get your chart into your hands and you start there. You start looking at your own stuff, watching the videos with your chart in your hand. And over time, you will just automatically start learning. That's just how it happens because it's you. Who could be more interesting than figuring out you? Now, I said 13 degrees, right, for the eclipse. I'm sorry, for the full moon in Sag. 13 degrees, 2-degree orb before and after. So we're going to do 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 degrees in Sagittarius. A release of a belief, a release of traveling, a release of learning, a release of teaching possibly. You can be like a college educator either, or maybe you're the preacher. Maybe you're not releasing a preacher, but maybe you're the preacher and you're like, I'm done. There's some sort of a journey you are on and you're completing it. Okay. So now we move further into the month and Jupiter is still prevalent because Jupiter was just the ruler of that full moon, which is all about the judgments and adding to things. But it's still meeting up with the North Node. It's still going to maybe be something really beneficial for you in terms of friends. And then we have a new moon. And so the new moon is like the 17th and the 18th of June. The new moon is in the opposite of Sagittarius, and Sag is over here. The opposite of Sag is Gemini. So this is my mind and my beliefs. Okay, my beliefs, right? I've lived, I've journeyed, I've experienced foreign languages, foreign cultures, right? I've done all that. So I feel like I'm pretty wise. This is my thoughts, my learning, my thinking. Like I'm reading a book. Okay. I'm reading a book and I'm gathering information and I'm like, okay, I know a thing or two. Gemini energy, jack of all trades, master of none. Gemini energy. Okay. And that's not to be mean when I say that. That's just saying Gemini can be kind of scattered. It likes variety, is the spice of life with Gemini. Variety. It lacks the Sagittarius focus. This is a marksman. Think of back in the day with Sagittarius, somebody on horseback, That was somebody who could shoot a bow and arrow as their horse was moving, and they're shooting it at a moving target. Holy crap. Sagittarius is the marksman. So I've known many Sagittariuses where they seem to be drawn to a weapon that you could use to shoot at a target. We'll put it like that. Okay. And I think there's a little bit of that energy there. And I think that's why. I think when we go back to the foundations of that energy, instinctual, survival, right? Gotta live, right? Kill or be killed, that type of thing, and protect yourself. And Sagittarius is very confident. When we go to the opposite, we're talking Gemini. So it's always talking, always thinking, but it's doing it to be busy. It just likes all the details. It's Mercury rules this. This is a new moon. This is a new moon. So if it's a new moon for Gemini, and if you have it at 2643, like a planet or house cusp line, you're really trying to pinpoint and narrow down into something more specific for yourself. Like all the things that you find interesting, which is a lot, slim it down to like 30 things. And then after a while, slim it down to just one where you want to become the master of one of those things. Okay. Because Gemini is a great speaker, can talk, is a salesperson even. So they have the ability to talk to others and others will listen, but it's like if I know a lot about tons of different things, or even just enough about tons of different things, at first people will be kind of drawn to me and be like, wow, this person knows what they're talking about, they just sound good. But then after a while people see through it and they realize it's just kind of surfacey, like there's nothing below the surface there. Like this person, it's just all on the surface. It's really more about how it sounds, even. Like it sounds smart. And that's not to say that Gemini energy is not smart. It's just saying because it usually lacks the Sagittarius focus, it doesn't put all the little details together to form the big picture. And then to really zero in on, okay, that's what I want. That's what I'm going to work towards. That's what I'm going to focus on. And Gemini is business and merchant. It's like my local community, the housing market, the schools, the post office. Think about a town. Think about, what does your town have in it? Like if you were to get in your car and stay in your town, what are the different things you would go to? All the food places, right? All the food places. You might even have like a city, like a municipality. Some of them have like an ice skating rink, or maybe even like, I don't know, some sort of a thing. Like maybe they have like a city or a town pool, where the kids go swimming. Like, so think of all those things, right? That your town provides. That is all Gemini. It's your local community. So definitely the real estate of your town. And so we think of like real estate taxes, right? But that would be Scorpio. But it's still the idea, because depending upon how much money those merchants make, right? Depending upon how much money, how much revenue they created, if it's like a nice high amount, then normally your taxes are lower. But if it's a really a low amount, like that, like say during COVID, right? The following year the taxes would have been like high. That's how they do that, unfortunately. So this is housing market, commercial real estate in general. Okay. And we think of the schools too. We think of the schools, but it's next door neighbors even. We think of going to the shops and going to the flea markets, going to the farmer markets. Like all of that is your Gemini energy. Now, when we think of the body, it's the hands and the wrists, like the forearms and stuff like that. Because you see me talking with my hands all the time, right? Gemini energy. You're having a new moon, and this is in your 12th house. Now, this is kind of tricky. I'm just not even going to lie about this for you, because what this tells me is this is forms of communicating, talking, speaking, but it can also be this, because it's Gemini, social platforms, whatever social platform you're on. It's a new moon, and it is news and media in general, right? Snail mail, email, just however you communicate, a new beginning. All right. It's a new beginning. So 26 degrees and 43 minutes, 17th and 18th of June, depending upon where you are in the world, because it's at 11:37 p.m. in my time zone, which is a central daylight time zone. So you want to adjust for the time zone that you live in. Now, because it's in your 12th house, I'm going to give you a little bit more input as to what this means for you and what is your new beginning in the month of June. Okay. So the new beginning is going to be geared towards sleep, dreams, fantasy, maybe meditation, maybe solitude, maybe prayer, maybe nature. Maybe nature, because the 12th house is all those things. It is also your subconscious. So it's like meditation and being still, which if you have Gemini in the 12th house, honestly, I have found that anybody who has Gemini in the 12th, when it comes to, they're normally not going to tell you things like, I sit and I meditate for an hour or even 15 minutes, because it's the mind being very busy, right? So it's more about a creative, because the 12th house is very creative. So it's taking what's here, taking all that busyness and like putting it somewhere, like creating with it in some way. So you could be a writer of poetry, you could be a writer of music, because it's words, but being creative with your words. You see, Gemini energy, creative talk, creative speech. So many times we consider it to be subconscious, so it may take some time to use that energy and to work with it. Unless you have houses, I'm sorry, unless you have planets in that house, then you can it's usually more pronounced. But not everybody has planets in every single house in a way where it's pronounced enough. But the new beginning can also be subconscious thoughts. Because remember, it's the place of the subconscious, but it's also Gemini. So that means subconscious thoughts, but ways of communicating that you might not be aware of because it's subconscious. So there might be something you do in the way you talk where people are just like, this person is not aware that they're doing that when they talk. You know what I'm saying? Like there might be something you do, like talking with the hands even. You might like me, I don't try to talk with my hands. But when I start talking, um I'm really subconscious about it right now, or I'm really conscious about it now. Um there's something about when I'm talking, like my hands kind of just help me say what I'm saying. Like they help me to express what I'm saying. That's just me. I don't have Gemini in my 12th house. You follow? Because it's in your 12th, that means like your hands might be kind of hidden even, right? And so this could be somebody who like does blogging, because that would be hidden hands. And this is all the nightmare that we've all experienced, right, for the last few years, the online communications, because this is also hidden communications. Gemini's communications, 12th house is hidden communications. And we think of people, siblings, coworkers, next door neighbors. I think I already said some of these. Um, it's, yeah, there might be some form of communication. So it makes me think of email for sure, because that's Gemini. All that online stuff is all that Gemini crap. It's digital communications, but it's also getting a piece of mail in the mail, right? Like delivered. And it's like, that is just so like, who does that anymore? Right. It's kind of like a forgotten thing. Very few people literally, like, I was thinking, send a birthday card, like you buy all these online e-cards and shit and whatnot. And so that Gemini energy can be tricky. What I would really recommend though is, because the 12th house is sleep, that means there may be information that comes through while you're asleep. So obviously if you can't remember it, then it's a problem. But if you have dreams, you might start journaling. Like it might be a smart idea to start writing about your dreams. Gemini in the 12th, writing about my dreams. Remember, Gemini is the scribe. That is the scribe, someone who's keeping track of events, of things that have happened. And yeah, whoop-de-doo. And I say whoop-de-doo because I think of what that's looked like since the pandemic, and probably before, but it just really just really exaggerated in during the pandemic and following of just whether it's misinformation, whatever. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I'm so done with it all. But it comes down to hidden forms of communication, hidden thoughts, and they could be with people that are peers, siblings, possibly siblings, hidden siblings. Is how I'd read that if I'm reading your chart. I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, this is somebody who you may have found later in life. You had siblings who possibly live on the other side of the pond. They were hidden from you. That's this. Yeah. Because the 12th house is in a different country, a foreign land, even. All right. So it's a new moon. And it gives you the opportunity to set some intentions down and to say, this is what I want in my life. This is what I want going forward. Okay. And so I will give you the time again, 11:37 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Check the degrees in your chart. You might have something there. If you want me to help you clarify 27 degrees, so 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, just comment below and I will help you in any way that I can. Bye-bye. Below the video, I'll have all the degrees for those of you who like to pay attention to the degrees in your chart. Again, if you don't know and you want to know, just comment below.